everyone. Welcome to Friday Faves. We're here again, though we've changed venues. We are now in the Basement Creative Lab, which is exciting for us. We're here. We are here with Jean Nelson, our library director, and today we're talking binge reading.
Absolutely.
So
it's a perfect time.
It's the perfect time to binge read. So what are you binging lately?
Oh man, let me tell you. I'm sure that the question is on everybody's minds. What does the library director read when he's got more time in his hands he's ever had? And I read mystery, thriller, suspense type of things. That's my go-to. And I have a number of favorite authors. I'm a series reader. Have been since when I was a kid. And you may not know this, but there's been research done that, and I know a lot of parents are concerned about their kids reading Harry Potter over and over and over, and they want to get them off on some other things, or reading, Dog Man or Captain Underpants. Mm-hmm. They'll move on. But chances are they'll move on to another series.
Right.
But the research has shown that series readers as kids are our best readers. Why? It's so simple. The more you read, the better you get at reading. And so if you're a series reader as a kid, chances are when you are a teenager, you're still doing it, and as an adult, you're really one of those. So I was a huge series reader as a kid, still am. And so let me catch up with a couple of things I'm reading. And the first one needs a little backstory. This is the first one. This is called the God Wolf Manuscript, which is by Robert Parker. He's one of my very, very favorite writers. He passed away a number of years ago. But I want to talk specifically today about number 48 in this series.
Do we have that one here?
It's not here. That's not one we could get a hold of.
Someone's got
checked out. Go figure. And so I think the question, can you dive into one of these books and read it without the rest of the books? I think you could. I think you might be losing a little something as far as where the characters have been and how they've arrived at this point, relationships and those type of things. But in the vein of binge reading, get away from the screen, get away from watching Friends and Psych over and over and over, and get a new series. And so Robert Parker is just one of the very best, well-awarded author, and it all started in 1973 with the God Wolf Manuscript. So if any are out there and you're looking for a new series, great mystery suspense with a lot of action, great dialogue. I think he's one of the greatest dialogue people that we have in the business. And then when he passed away, his wife and his estate said he has 3 major series that he used to write. And so they found writers and authors to continue with their series.
That's great.
Not even a ghostwriter. Like Robert Parker's, the title says Robert B. Parker's Angel Eyes, which is the one I want to talk about. Written by Ace Atkins. And so Ace has now written 8 of the Spencer. There's another author who writes the Jesse Stone series, now that Bob's passed away. And then a third author who has written the Western series, the Everett and Hitch series. And I follow them closely. I will drop everything that I'm reading when the Bob Parker books come out. And the latest one is the Angel Eyes, and it's all about our hero, Spencer. And that's what he goes by, Spencer, like the poet. And he works out of Boston. And he and his longtime love live there. And that's where most of his mysteries are set. But this time he's asked to go out to L.A. Spencer has previously been out there in another book, and he gets out there with Six Kill, a Native American private eye that he has mentored and trained, and they're trying to find a young woman who's vanished. And through the scope of their investigation and getting involved with the police in L.A., they get involved with an Armenian type of a mafia type of a group who's also a movie mogul. And then we've got a self-help empire, kind of a cult that's come up, and that's where we find the young lady. And it's just very involving. Yeah, it's just really, really quite a book. And of course, I love all of Bob Parker's. So he's really one of my first one that I drop everything for.
So that's number,
That's
did you say 48?
48, I believe, was
Series?
Angel Eyes. And I know it's found, all of these three major books I'm talking about are all found digitally on Overdrive, so you can find them there. And then once we open the collection back up, we'll be able to find the print copies here at the library too.
Yeah.
The second one is another series person that literally I will drop everything. John Sanford. He's still alive, still putting out books. I think, yep, the latest one that just came out is Masked Prey. And all of his books are the Prey series, Prey. And this is number 30. Well, a little backstory with John Sanford. If any of the listeners and watchers wants to go back to number 1, Rules of Prey is number 1.
Okay.
And that started, what did I say, I think 89. And he lives I'm pretty sure he lives in Minneapolis. John Sanford is a pen name. And his hero is a police lieutenant, not a lieutenant, captain, I believe. And he's in the detective area. And Lucas Davenport. And so he becomes our hero. And he kind of likes Spencer in a way. He likes to push the envelope of what he can do, what he shouldn't be doing. He's a great detective, and it just really digs in like a pit bull. And so this is the first one, Rules of Prey. You get introduced to his family and him, what he does. In his spare time, he made a lot of money. He sold his company. He would write video games, and usually detective type of video games and action, and he made $1 million off of that. And so he doesn't need to work.
So now he just solves crime for
Exactly.
fun.
And so his career progresses, and now he's working with a different agency, kind of almost like a consultant. And the latest one is Masked Prey, and this is my read for the weekend because it just came out. So I'm literally I'm in the middle of another book, which would be another great book to talk about another time. But I'm going to drop
You're
that for a bit
dropping it.
because I need to read this weekend.
This looks like a shiny new library copy.
It is a brand new copy. Yeah, it's just came out literally. But the one I want to talk about is his, this is number 12 of the Virgil Flowers series. That is kind of a branch of Lucas Davenport. They share the same world. And Virgil Flowers came on the scene pretty early in the John Sanford books, in the Lucas Davenport. And he was so well received by his readers that he decided, let me give this a try. And he wrote a book about Virgil Flowers. And people fell in love with it. Virgil's very different from Lucas, but he worked with Lucas. Now and then Lucas will show up in a Virgil Flowers book, and obviously Virgil Flowers will show up in Lucas's book.
Right.
And in this particular one, this is Bloody Genius, came out the last of last year. Virgil is summoned to the Minneapolis area. A lot of them center around Minneapolis, where there's a huge readership. They have a phenomenal library system, the Hennepin County Library System. And a lot of authors and big-time readers live in Minneapolis.
Interesting.
And so I'm pretty sure that's where John Camp lives. No, he lives now in New Mexico, interesting enough. But in this one, Virgil is summoned to a murder mystery, and he finds that two universities at odds with one another over science and technology and religion. And their competition and feelings of one another comes to a head in the worst sort of way. So here's Virgil in his laid-back sort of way with his cowboy boots and old rock t-shirts, trying to figure out the connection and who's knocking who off here. And if you love more than likely if you have a viewer that's really a John Sanford fan, they're also a fan of the Virgil Flowers series. This one just came out. But I'm not just a series guy. I do love my series, but I also love Harlan Coben. And Coben has a couple of series, which I thoroughly enjoy. But one of the things I love about Harlan Coben is he writes a lot of standalones. Mystery, suspense type of books. This is his latest one. Matter of fact, this is an ARC I received at a conference, but this book came out in the middle of March, and so we not only have digital copy, but we have a hard copy of it. And this is the Boy from the Woods, and it's a standalone. And a lot of viewers, they may not want to get involved with a long series. The idea of 48 books or 30 books will send somebody up the wall. I can't handle that. But I know there's people out there, and I know who you are, that want to read every one of them.
Right.
What a perfect, wonderful time to go on a binge.
Absolutely.
And the overdrive with the availability of the ebooks is a wonderful way to find those books right now. But anyway, back to the standalones. In Harlan Coben, The Boy from the Woods, this our main character is Wilde, W-I-L-D-E. And he's called Wilde because they're not sure what his name was, because 30 years previously, he was found as a boy living a feral lifestyle in the woods. They couldn't figure out who he was. He had no memory of his past. He couldn't put anything together. He doesn't know how he ended up in the woods. But imagine, I think he was 8 to 10 when he was found. Imagine the survival skills that one would have picked up by living in the woods with predators, with weather, and this was in a northern New England community. And so this young boy grows into a man with some interesting life experiences that have changed his life and the skills that he now has. He has a wonderful skill set.
Sure.
And so he starts helping out with this missing young girl and trying to figure out what happened to her. And they go to him because he knows the family. And Harlan Coben is one of those authors that I dare you to pick up at about 9 o'clock at night, hoping that you're going to get to sleep at 10, because you will want to read just one more chapter. He's an excellent writer. I love his series, but I also love his standalones. And this is his latest standalone. This one still smells pretty good. It just came out middle of March. And so those are some of the things that I'm binging on right now. Of course, I'm reading a lot of things for work and what's going on in the world. When can we look at reopening the library and extending our services? That's a lot of my work reading. But I'll tell you, when I get home and have a chance and you're not calling me or somebody else isn't calling me, I'm picking up one of these for my escape right now.
Very good. Very good. So, things to binge on. Have we had any questions come in?
No.
Nope. Cool. Well, we will be here again next week at 1 o'clock talking recommendations for you. I think next week we're going to do YA again. And any final comments?
It's a great time to read books. Support your bookstores the best you can around. We have a number of bookstores that are struggling in the area, and when you have the opportunity, send them your business.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll see you all next week.